Finally, somebody put Ryan Garcia, race his ass in his place. Let's talk about it on the other side of the intro. Let's go. Okay, Ring Culture, welcome back to Ring Culture, where we play no games, we just spit game about the game we love. Before we get into this video, I want y'all to go over to my reaction page, the Nuclear Reactor, and check out my sports reactions. Y'all will love it over there and show me some support. But back over here at Ring Culture, make sure y'all like and comment down below. That's how y'all get me into the algorithm, and then I'll go get them with my content, hit them and fit them and sit with them. Subscribe and hit the bell notification so y'all can be notified for every time I upload, share my videos, and hype my channel and help me grow this community. So, the world of boxing has been heating up lately. As y'all know, Canelo Alvarez is now trying to have a rematch with Terrence Crawford. And Crawford apparently wants $100 million to do that, which he definitely deserves. But on the other side of that, we remember Devin Haney had a match against Ryan Garcia to make Ryan Garcia a year or maybe or two ago. I can't remember what year it was. And he knocked him down like 3 or 4 times. He basically punished him. And it came out that Ryan Garcia cheated. He was juiced up when he did it. And he got suspended. In the midst of that, he jumped on a live and started saying how much he hates black people, calling us the N-word, wishing that he could kill George Floyd again. Ryan Garcia is just a racist pig. That's what he is. And shout out to Dante's Boxing, one of my favorite sources of boxing news. He did a video that Ryan Garcia finally got called a racist. And it was brutal. And it was by a white guy, too. It was by Raphael. So they actually went at it on, I think, X, Twitter. And Ryan Garcia tried to make excuses for the fact that he is a cheater. A cheater, that's what he is. And Dan wasn't having it. And he destroyed Ryan Garcia and basically told him, bro, I could do this all day. And Ryan Garcia left him alone. So let's check out this little segment from Dante's Boxing, and I'm gonna come back and rap to y'all about it. Check this out.
Dan Raphael, he basically called Ryan Garcia the racist cheater that he is. That's right. In so many words, he called Ryan Garcia a racist in the exchange they had. And he completely broke down the cheater that Ryan Garcia is. Because while Dan was providing receipts, Ryan Garcia had nothing but propaganda to offer. In other words, those typical race fan talking points. Oh, it was only a small amount of ostarine in my system. Yeah, I know I didn't make weight and I came in 4 pounds over, but Devin said he was going to beat me regardless. Listen, you guys have heard me say probably 100 times on my channel that there is no way Ryan Garcia, he would ever use any of the talking points he used in this exchange with Dan Raphael, which are once again all of the typical talking points you hear from race fans on the internet. Not only did Ryan Garcia not use any of these talking points when he had to face the New York State Athletic Commission, but if Devin Haney would have really sued Ryan Garcia, which I'm really disappointed that he didn't, because I would have sued the shit out of Ryan Garcia. But if Ryan had to go to court on this, if he would have had to do a deposition telling his side of the story to the opposing attorneys, they would completely drown his ass with receipts. All the conspiracy theories, I don't trust VADA, and you guys were working with VADA, etc., none of that would work in a court of law. I mean, it didn't work outside of a court of law. But when it comes to litigation, VADA is going to be subpoenaed, which means now you got science against you. Now you got DNA evidence against you, which would just further expose Ryan Garcia. But Ryan, he made the mistake of talking to Dan Raphael about this situation, which was like trying to have this conversation with me or even a lawyer in court. So what happened was Ryan Garcia, he found out the hard way that you cannot combat facts with ignorance, which is typical race fan talking points on the internet. So anyway, I forgot to mention how this exchange even started. Once again, it was The Ring that put up this post basically cheerleading what Ryan Garcia said about Devin Haney after his win over Brian Norman. And then he responded to that post by saying juiced up on Peds, 4+ pounds over the contract weight, and it was still a close fight point-wise, even with the knockdowns. But okay, and this is what bothered Ryan Garcia and got him to respond to Dan Raphael. Because Ryan, he wanted Dan Raphael to be on code. He wanted him to play ball, defend him at all costs like The Ring does. And I'll say this, Dan Raphael, who has not always been known for extreme integrity when it comes to being a journalist in the sport of boxing, he definitely displays some integrity in this situation with Ryan Garcia. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and read what Dan Raphael said responding to Ryan Garcia. Now, I'm not going to read what Ryan Garcia said. I'll just put it on the screen for you guys to read. There's no reason for me to read it because he said nothing of substance. It's just insults and, once again, typical talking points that Ryan Garcia and race fans use when it comes to defending him for being a cheater. So this was Dan Raphael's first response to Ryan. He said, blah, blah, blah. Devin Haney is a 3-division world champion, including undisputed title, and didn't have to cheat. Your ostering levels were 60 times allowable in New York. Maybe Devin got dropped by you 3 times but kept getting up, which is more than you against Tank. I may be fat, but I'm no sucker for your propaganda. You still saw I was 100% accurate on every single thing I reported about your positive drug test that you said I lied about. Have a blessed day. Okay, so Ryan, he replies, and once again, the only thing he really said in this post was, once again, typical talking points that are way too easy to debunk. This is the only part I'm going to read to you guys. He said, did you report that the supplements had traces of ostarine in it? You didn't because you didn't care about that part. It's just sad that because of my political views and when I was speaking about children's sex trafficking, you started being a bitch towards me. Effing weirdo. You know, I find it interesting that he said the only reason why you basically don't like me anymore is because of my political views and because of when I talked about kids being trafficked. There's a lot that Ryan is actually saying right there. First of all, when Ryan says you don't like me anymore, he's basically admitting that he wants Dan Raphael to be a sucker to his propaganda, just like Dan Raphael said, because that's exactly what The Ring magazine is doing. That's exactly what someone like Eddie Hearn would do. But the truth is, a professional, a journalist, a reporter is not supposed to base what he reports on liking you or not. Now, of course, that's what old media always does, but I'm talking about real reporters with integrity. Now, let's go back to Ryan saying the only reason why you don't like me anymore is because what I said about the whole children being trafficked and my political views. But how come Ryan didn't mention all of the racist stuff that he said? He completely omitted that. You know why he did that? Because he expects Dan Raphael and everyone else who's not black to be just as racist as he is. That's the reason why he felt so comfortable to say all of the racist stuff that he said publicly. You see, because what happens is when you live in this small ass echo chamber where your family members and your close friends and the people you hang out with and maybe the people that you share a little live spaces, little chat or whatever you call it, when those people in your circle all agree with everything you say and everything you stand for, you start to convince yourself everyone feels this way about them, regardless if they admit it or not. And once again, Ryan, he wants to be accepted by white people because he wants to be considered white. So all that racist stuff that he says is pretty much his failed audition. Anyway, moving on. This is when Dan Raphael, he responded by putting the nail in the coffin and wrapping this whole conversation up. So number one, he says 60 times allowable level isn't a trace amount. That's something I've learned in reporting on drug testing almost as long as you've been alive. Number two, couldn't care less about your political views, but that said, I never went on a live stream and used the N-word a dozen times, professed hatred for black people and Muslims like you did. Number three, job-wise, I'm doing just fine working for myself and making a fine living. Appreciate your interest in my financial well-being. We can do this all day if you like. He said we could do this all day if you like. And Ryan Garcia, he had nothing else to say. The more Ryan responded to Dan Raphael, the deeper the hole he dug for himself. Ryan was stupid enough to bring up political views and saying you don't like me for those reasons, etc., etc., and all he did was open the door. He threw a wild ass punch and left himself wide open for a counter, a big counter. Oh, since you're talking about political views and what people don't like about you, let's talk about you being a racist.
Finally, somebody called out that racist piece of garbage. Y'all don't remember when Ryan Garcia went on live saying all the disparaging stuff about black people?
These I hate I'm anti-black. KKK. I hate B. Jordan is a bro. Michael B. Jordan is a I hate him. Yeah. And I hate myself. Hey, let's go bring George Floyd back to life and kill that again.
Why do you skip Jews all the time? Why do you skip
And guess what? I hate Jews. I actually tweeted that. Jews too.
Hey, Ryan.
I'm Hitler.
It's always funny how racist pigs like this will claim to be a Christian or a follower of Jesus Christ, yet they got a whole heart full of hate. Nothing that they say as from their hate is taught in the Bible. None of it. Jesus Christ says to love thy enemy as thyself. Love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, mind, soul, and strength, and love thy enemy as thyself. The Bible said that love does the Bible said that love does no harm to his neighbor. There is a story in the Bible about the Good Samaritan that Jesus is literally teaching against racism. These people are not Christians. They run around calling themselves Christians, and they try to use the Bible the same way slave owners use the Bible to bludgeon people. You know what I'm saying? There's a slavery Bible out there where they would take out whole chapters and whole books of the Bible so they could fool the slaves that could actually read. But nobody in their right mind would think that God wants you to be racist. You have a moral compass in you. These people are just jealous, and they're just using religion, which is so stupid, from a book that they hardly ever read, to try to hate on people. And Ryan Garcia is no different than the mediocre, racist, Christian nationalists and white supremacists. He's the same as all of them, straight up. See, that's the problem. I've learned lately that a lot of people who are foreigners that come over to America, before they get here, because of the internet, they have these racist views about us Black Americans, that we're lazy. We ain't lazy. When we wasn't allowed to go to universities, and we made our own universities. You know how much fucking wisdom it takes to make your own university and teach things of that nature? All the inventions that we made in America. People all over the world copy Black American swag, but they pretend not to like us. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. People like Ryan Garcia run around pitting out these racist talking points that with 13% of the population but commit 50% of the crime. That is a racist lie. And you know something else funny about that? Black people are number one in exonerations in America because we've been wrongly convicted of crimes that we did not commit. Number one in exonerations. But racism is nothing but jealousy. That's what racist people's problem is. They jealous of Black people. How resilient we are. How they've tried to eradicate us several times and we are still here. You know what I'm saying? You see all these mediocre dudes out here crying and bitching about Black people who ain't even thinking about them while we doing our thing. Every time we've been shut out of something, we did our own thing. We made our own sports in our Black leagues. We look at how we dominate basketball now. They needed us in the NBA because the ABA was killing it. You damn right. When y'all locked us out of y'all universities, with our knowledge and ingenuity, we made our own universities. And also, it's historically Black colleges, not only Black colleges, you racist pigs out there. Ryan Garcia is nothing more than a racist. I'm glad that someone finally called him out on the internet. And this is how people should treat all races. Until we get rid of these racist people in America who seems to hate anybody that's not a straight white man, we're going to have these problems all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I salute Dan for his candor and going up against that racist and shutting him up. Dante Boxing always keep it 100 on this topic. We're not going to pretend like something that's going on is not going on. But anyway, Ring Culture, y'all let me know what y'all think about Ryan Garcia and all the racist hate that he spews towards Black people down below. And remember, we are Ring Culture because the whole point of the culture is to win rings for the culture. I love y'all. Peace.